What's up, all? How's it going? My name's Jamie. Thanks for tuning into Nerdology 5280. This is my spoiler review of Captain America. I'll dive a little bit more. If you really want to hear us get in depth, Ryan, which you can find him at Ryan Talks Nerdy on Twitter, and also all my other videos, he's going to be joining me. We're going to just dive into the whole movie, go over it, compare it to the comics and all that. We obviously did have a whole preview episode, but audio issues. Unfortunately, couldn't, you know, get it out, and I just didn't want to release something that sounded awful. So, whatever, shit happens. It is what it is. But, anyways, as you saw in my non spoiler review, I love the movie, every aspect of it. As I dive into what I really loved about it, I mean, the beginning of the movie was a big part of it, like, of course, building up the plot like any movie should be, and that kind of showed what it is. Obviously, this movie doesn't follow the comics as much because comic Civil War is Iron Man versus Captain America, but it's taking one side against another. um, Throughout the comics, there's their battles and everything. There's a lot of other characters. You got some X-Men characters, Fantastic Four. The whole universe, Marvel universe is in there. Obviously, they can't use them all here, so it is what it is. So they did what they could. In the comics, which we'll dive to more in on the podcast, it plays out very differently. In a sense, it's not as Winter Soldier based as this one, where this is more, it was a civil war between the two sides, but it was more about dealing with the Winter Soldier. The comics, it wasn't quite that route. So, as in the beginning of the movie, their big battle with Crossbones was awesome. I mean, both sides of the battle, the Crossbones team, they got taken out fairly quick, except for him. He was pretty sick. I was surprised to see him get taken out so quick, though, because in the comics, he is obviously involved in killing Captain America. In here, he's kind of dead at that point. So, yeah, that obviously didn't happen. Oh, and focus. Anyways, that led up, of course, to the people dying at the Wakanda embassy, I guess it was, from what my recollection was, which involves Black Panther. And it kind of, that's where it pulls Black Panther into the storyline, which was played by Chadwick Boseman. His character overall, from the beginning to the end, really fit well in this whole entire movie. The next, after all that and civilians died, they decide to enact this superhero act. Registration Act is basically what it is. And after that, they get the King of Wakanda, which is Black Panther, who should in the comics technically be Black Panther per the comics, but per the movie he wasn't, because you don't lose that reign until you die. Well, in the movie, it didn't seem that way. But there's an attack on the conference where all the leaders are, and he's up there speaking, and he is killed. Well, that leads Black Panther to getting involved into the whole thing, and everyone thinks it's the Winter Soldier, but lo and behold, it isn't. It is Baron Zemo. His handling, he's trying to frame him to get people all involved. So that leads to the battle, the good side versus the good side, technically, or bad side versus bad side, whichever, Team Cap, Team Iron Man. Hey, I was obviously Team Cap and still am from the beginning, which kind of surprises me because he was created by the government and all that stuff and his abilities. But, Tony Stark, it's all about the money. So, and that's where he made all his money from, was the government, and he feels they should be in check, and everyone should be controlled by the government and all that, which, if you really dive into it, it kind of dives more into a racism type thing, like looking back in the day, you're segregating all these people. But we won't, I'm not getting into that because the movie really didn't dive into that aspect. My favorite scene through the whole thing was the airport battle scene, which was ridiculous. It was amazing, so well played, and it lasted way longer than I thought. Every single player into the whole thing was amazing. Spider-Man fit in, which he was brought in earlier in the movie because Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, knew about him, and he went and recruited him from his home. Which I gotta say, I like Aunt May in here. She's looking pretty good at 51 years old. She's looking really good. I'm a guy, so hey, whatever, deal with it. It is what it is. But Spider-Man, his character played by Tom Holland, was phenomenal. His jokes, everything, it fit perfect, and they did it right. As you got to trust in Marvel. They haven't done anything that has been so god awful yet, which eventually they will, but they haven't where it's been like we hate him, we fuck him, we don't care. This one is like, okay, he was done right. It was amazing how well he fit into the storyline. He wasn't integral in it, but he played a big part in it. So they could have done without him, but you can see that how they were able to write him into the story once they got him signed on from Sony and moved in. So that big airport battle was, there was all kinds of little things that happened, and everything that went on with, of course, Ant-Man turning into Giant Man for the first time and just wrecking things. That was awesome. I mean, Paul Rudd, yeah, I like him, and I'm glad they brought him in. And then towards the end, of course, War Machine getting hit and almost killed, which I was surprised that it was Vision that was involved in it. It didn't expect it at all. That kind of blew me away that they had Vision miss Falcon when he shot his mind gem up there, which, if you don't know about that, go back and watch Avengers Age of Ultron to see how he was created and all that stuff. But yeah, that was surprising. Of course, he's not dead. It's just his legs are messed up, which I think that was kind of their way of dealing with. In the comics, Captain America was killed. They didn't want to kill him in this movie, and they didn't. But they brought some kind of tragedy you had to have involved in this movie, and that's what it was. It worked well. I would have liked to see a character die. Hey, but it might be too dark for the Avengers, which, hey, whatever. I should have filmed a little bit lower so you can see my hands, since I'm so animated, instead of you seeing them going up and down. But anyways, that of course led to when Tony Stark eventually, after all that, he was on the side of Captain America. He went to help him out, and that's when he found out from that beginning little sequence, which you're like, okay, why the hell is the Winter Soldier killing his parents in the car? Okay, what's this? The point of showing this? Well, that leads, you see, Baron Zemo, who has been the genius behind all of this. He shows Iron Man while he's standing next to Captain America and Winter Soldier, aka Bucky, which I don't know which you would consider him in the movie. More Bucky than anything, not the Winter Soldier anymore. But that's when he finds out and he loses it. And that's where the battle between Iron Man, Bucky, and Captain America happens. And of course, in the end, Iron Man ends up losing, Captain America ends up winning, which it should be. It's a Captain America movie. That's the way it should be. In my opinion, it should have been Avengers 3. That would have fit a lot better for this. But hey, you got to fit it in some way, especially with the movies coming up. But yeah, Iron Man losing, you knew it was going to happen. But they're still friends. So that's my whole thing with this movie is, no matter what, they were still friends throughout it. They didn't agree on stuff. There was things that got in between them, pissed them off. Friends fight. And that's, I think, what they were trying to show. And they still will be friends. They're not best friends anymore, all that stuff. They're still going to be on the same side. But in the end, of course, you saw the post-credit scene after with the little note from Captain America to Iron Man. And you saw Captain America break out all his team who was captured from the airport scene, because none of them left except for the Winter Soldier. That him and Captain America were the only two that got away. So yeah, after that, that's when he broke them out. Winter Soldier didn't trust himself. They went to Wakanda. He refroze himself, and that was that for that scene. Then the next scene, of course, was Spider-Man, and he showed the little spider symbol on the ceiling. Which, if you don't know and you haven't seen it before or read the comics, that's a huge Easter egg towards the comics. You know, he's had that Spider-Man symbol. It's kind of like their answer to the bat symbol in a sense. It didn't work the same way, but that's the way you kind of can look at it. So I mean, it's a great thing to bring out, and I hope they use it more. As for the first little teaser, some people are saying it's the Secret Avengers, which they played that kind of in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I won't dive into that because I don't want to spoil the season, all that, if you haven't seen it. As this is going up, tomorrow they are going to tie in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to Captain America, which I'm curious how they're going to do. So if you're not caught up on that, get caught up so you know, you can see how it all ties in and all that, you know, because they've kind of went different directions. But I feel that it's going to be more of Captain America is going to be involved with Black Panther and his solo movie and maybe be involved with that because Iron Man's going the route of Spider-Man, which he was involved with that. He's on his side. He built him the suit, all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see. So many different things. But yeah, I don't want to keep rambling on because we're going to go and dive into it on our podcast recording. So if you haven't yet, please shoot me a tweet if you have any questions. If you like, down below. Yes, that's always awkward to do down below, but whatever, I don't care. It makes, hey, I made you look. Yeah, that was pretty bad. But anyways, also hit that follow so when you know I drop all videos, got all kinds of stuff coming out. Uncharted 4 drops tomorrow, so I am going to be doing a whole Let's Play series for that. I don't know if I'll keep doing Stardew Valley or not. I don't know. But I will do a whole Let's Play for that. Also, Doom drops the end of the week. I'm looking at possibly doing some stuff with that. We'll see. Not so much multiplayer, more story mode since I'm not the multiplayer. I know Overwatch, I've been playing the beta, which is off the hook, and I want to play more of that. So keep a lookout for all those kind of videos. We'll see what's going on. We have our other podcast, Nerds of the Round Table, the monthly edition that we do. So it is that time of month. Yes, that's my little joke with it. I know it's bad. Whatever. That's whatever. If you laugh, you laugh. If you don't, you don't. Fuck it. You know, hey. But drop me a tweet if you have any questions or anything like that. Other than that, social media, everything's down below. I need to start working on linking stuff so it all comes together, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I'll remember that when, of course, I have a little more time and I need to kind of slow down and all that stuff. But as always, thank you again for stopping by, showing the love. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions for videos, anything you want to see, any of that stuff, let me know because, you know, I'm here to help you unleash your inner nerd, you know, let it come out. So yeah, but with that note, I appreciate the love and I will see you next time. Peace.